Hello, 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 and welcome to Secret Files, which is very quiet for some reason, so let's just bring that up to 85. This is part 3, and I haven't played since. So part 2 is coming out on the 4th of October at 8 o'clock, and I haven't played this since the last time I recorded this, which was September. Last week of September. Anyway, as usual, we'll look at the file of the SCP, which I think we've already read in the game, so we won't, but I just want to look at the art. Blood is... With this, one blood, it is the Hanged King. That was very good. Anyway, we'll go over to Secret Files and press continue for a new day. I don't think there's any news. Yeah, there's not. Nothing from my friends, so we'll go straight to files. Appendix. Object is an irregular clay plot with a height of 23 centimeters and diameter. Oh, so we're doing SCP-660, diameter 28 centimeters. But do not be fooled by its appearance. It is an organism, a womb. Yes, an earthen womb. SCP-660 may be safely stored in a standard safe deposit box, provided its mouth remains covered with an inert perspex disc and sealed with a tamper-proof tape. Log of interest involving human experimentation with SCP-660. Lab report 660-A. Sample condition: skin flap harvested from the left thigh of the cadaver of D-612. Donor was healthy in all respects prior to death. Sample used: tissue sample left in SCP-660 from 2 months duration. Results: daily biopsies indicate viability of samples taken from tissue grant are cultured in vitro, revealing a predisposition towards precancerous and cancerous growth. Lab report 660-B. Sample condition: skin flap harvested from the left thigh of the I can't say that word, I'm so dyslexic. Of D-612, sample used, tissue sample left in SCP-660 for 2 months duration, then grafted onto the torso of D-class personnel with 2nd and 3rd degree burns. The recipient anomaly testing record had no contradictions with 660's results. Tissue graft takes without complication, healing according to usual steps of adherence. Serum and revascularization. However, as is common with severe burns cases, the compromised skin barrier led to infection and eventual fatal septic shock. Post-mortem biopsy analysis indicates skin graft would have returned to full historical structure and function had recipient survived. 660C. Lab report. Sample condition: live member of musculus house mouse strain acquired for laboratory testing by use of SCP redacted. The consciousness of D-614 was implanted into the specimen. D-614 was chosen for its demonstration resistance to the negative effect of prolonged isolation and sensory deprivation. Sample use: specimen left in 660 for 2 months duration. Result: usually SCP redacted was incapable of restoring D-614's consciousness to its original body after removal from SCP-660. A computer interface was developed to facilitate two-way communications with D-614. An interview was conducted. Once 614 was familiarized with this interface, an excerpt is included below. Dr. Brown, I guess I'll have to take your word for it. And how did it feel? Suffocating and stretching. Could you be more specific? How the hell do you think it felt? Even mice need to grow and move and live. Every part of me was straining, but I was stuck. I thought I would explode. 4 counts of the interview were classified. An autopsy revealed precancerous growth throughout the mouse's body. Lab report 660D. Sample condition: right arm lost in traumatic amputation just beneath the elbow. Sample used D-778 was severely injured in an accident. An incident involving SCP redacted. Lost limbs recovered as part of a clean-up operation. Subject would not have survived immediate reattachment surgery. due to other injuries involving severe vascular compromise. Severed extremity preserved in 660 in bid to preserve tissue viability. Result: right arm successfully reattached to the previous owner. Subject report returns to sensations in the fingers of right hand, contrary to poor prognosis due to severe tissue alveolation and nerve damage sustained in initial injury. Biopsy reveals little to no precancerous cell growth. Transplant ruled a tentative success. D-778 has been retrained for further observation. Addendum: human testing with 660 is suspended due to the sudden death of 778 from teratoma with malignant transformation. I've seen fetuses in fetu before, but never have I had one try to grab my probe during an autopsy. Dr. Grayson, Appendix 07/30/2012. As of today, SCP-660-1 has been neutralized. SCP-660 no longer exhibits any other forms or shapes. It has been classified as safe by the Foundation. Research on SCP-660-1 will be transferred to the Reliquary Research Institute. Details available to personnel with clearance 4-660. Okay. And object class safe. Special containment procedures. SCP-660 may be safely stored in the standard locked safe deposit box, provided its mouth remains covered with an inner. Yep. There's a regular roughly 25. Okay. Nice, and we can submit. Object class Euclid, special containment procedures. SCP-143 is to be contained in the valley adjacent to Bio Research Area 12, an area of over 2 kilometers squared. Area surrounding SCP-143 for up to 20 kilometers, and all lines of sight from the surrounding hilltops are to be denied public access. Description: SCP-143 is a plantation of 300 specimens of unique type of tree. The trees are similar in appearance to Prunus X, Japanese Sakura, or cherry blossoms. They bear no fruit, and the only known way of reproduction is by careful own root propagation, using cut saplings from an older sample. The petals are a light pinkish color, slightly translucent, and with a texture of smooth glass. Care must be taken when handling the petals, as the edge of razor sharp and can easily slice through flesh if mishandled. Addendum 143-1. The trees were grown on site from saplings obtained from parent plants located in Nara Prefecture, Japan in 1905. The parent trees were owned by a family of traditionalist swordsmiths, claiming to be descended from a legendary swordmaker named Amakuni. They refer to the original tree as Jinkno Kodachi, or the Bladewood Grove. It is from them that the Foundation gained a technique to cut and work the wood and petals into serviceable items. The original trees are still in Japan, owned by the government, and still tended to by the same family. However, the government has denied all existence of the trees, and any progress made from them are kept within the country. Addendum 143-2. SCP-143 is to be watered twice every day on a regular basis via a large sprinkler system, unless already watered by local precipitation. Personnel are not asked to enter the enclosure without Level 4 administration clearance, and are advised not to touch any of SCP-143, nor stand beneath them unless wearing proper protective gear. It is important that no one be within the containment area when SCP-143 begins to shed. However, after shedding has concluded, the collection of the fallen petals for testing purposes has been authorized by the project director. See SCP-143 testing log. Document 143-A. We lost 3 staff to 143 today. They were collecting petals dropped by the trees the previous day when a sudden gust picked up, shaking a good deal of the petals from the trees and blowing them around. Stayed that windy for the whole day. I'd send a cleanup crew, but it's still pretty windy and the odd petal is still falling. We'll have to pick up the remains when the wind dies down in a couple of days. SCP-143 testing log. Appendix 143-D0. Hardness test 5000 HB on the Brinell scale. Appendix 143-D1. Withstanding temperature up to 1800 degrees Celsius. Appendix 143-D2, the weight to strength ratio surpasses even that of titanium, being some 15% lighter than aluminium. Both are notoriously difficult to work with due to their properties. Appendix 143-D11, but under high temperature upwards of 1500 degrees Celsius, separate pieces are capable of being fused together. Whew. Item number SCP-261. Object class safe. Special containment procedure. SCP. Any access to SCP-261 must be approved by staff with level 2 security clearance or higher. Any and all items dispensed by SCP-261 must be recorded along with the amount of money entered and the amount of time elapsed between uses. Something testing approved by site commanders not under these restrictions. Items dispensed by SCP-261 should be reviewed by site health and safety officials before consumption. Failure to do so releases the Foundation from any obligation regarding negative effects. Items deemed dangerous or useful to research will be confiscated by site security, with financial compensation provided in proportion to money spent. Description: SCP-261 appears to be a large black vending machine with no front glass panel and a small keypad on the right side. SCP-261 was covered in Yokohama, Japan. SCP-261 was brought to the Foundation's attention after an investigation of an urban legend about a magical vending machine that was circulating on the internet. SCP-261 was found in a back alley behind a large shopping center with a handwritten sign saying "out of order" in Japanese taped to it. SCP-261 has no marks or identification of any kind and no longer remember when or how it came to be in its current location. Redacted: after a key was made and the front door opened, no abnormal materials were found, and it was determined that SCP-261 has never actually contained any food or beverage items. The keypad, while connected and operating correctly, does not activate any of the dispensing mechanisms. When money is placed into SCP-261 and a 3-digit number is entered on the keypad, 261 will vend a random item. 261 has not accepted any currency other than yen. This is not the coffee machine. I think. Or is it? Wait, 261 is, isn't it? I'm being stupid because it's literally saying it's vending stuff, and if I read it, I would know that, but I'm an idiot, so I don't know that. Let me just Google what SCP-261 is. SCP-261. No, that's 161. 261. SCP-261 is a vending machine. SCP-294 is the coffee machine. I was right. It's not 294. 249. However, SCP-261 will not operate when the door is... Oh, wait, no. Currency... with rejected currency being deposited in the coin return slot. It is unknown how these items appear. However, 261 will not operate when the door is open or when recording devices are placed inside. The number entered on the keypad has no effect on the item vended, nor has any pattern been detected. Items are always some form of snack food and typically have bright, attention-grabbing packaging. 261 is capable of operating with no external power supply, but operation in this state will cause unstable vending to occur much more quickly than normal if 261 is used several times in a short period of time and or large amounts of money are entered before an item is vended. 261 will start to dispense bizarre items. While still food, their suitability for human consumption is often non-existent. Log of items vended during testing phase 8. 800 yen entered for each item. Items being dispensed every 2 minutes. 261 is attached to no power. Notes: 261's safety regulation stipulates that SCP-261 may be used a maximum of 10 times per 24-hour period, with no transaction value exceeding the equivalent of 500 Japanese yen. However, in view of the necessity of this experiment, the Foundation has approved. Dr. Blank requests to use 261 at a high frequency. Dr. Blank requests to use 261. Oh wait, a Coke Zero, a can of direct Diet Coke packaging in English. I actually put the number in. Cheetos, a small bag of Cheetos snack food, packaging in English. Black. A single pack of caffeinated chewing gum, packaging in English. In Japanese, rather. Yan. A simple yan cone with peach dripping frosting, packaging in Japanese. The Meiying Seika company does not produce this flavor. Pepsi, Dragon Twist. A can of Pepsi Cola with a trace of fruit flavor, packaging in English. Flavor identified as dragon fruit. Pepsi Co does not produce this product. Dark Side Cola. A can with clear plastic sides, packaging in Japanese. Liquid inside is clear. When opened, liquid appears to react to the air and changes to a dark black over a period of several seconds. The black colorization looks like a billowing smoke and cannot be reversed. Liquid taste described as cola with something spicy in it. The Little Bakery, 7 grain, a small tube in the size of a candy bar with green button, made of aluminium. Packaging in English. When the top is twisted off, a mass of dough is extruded. Dough contains several enzymes and bacteria that has not yet been identified. On contact with air, these cause the dough to rise and bake, killing the microbes in the process. Produces a small round loaf of bread weighing 250 grams. Taste described as good but chewy. Lemon clams. Thick plastic baggie with a plastic tube on the side, containing water and 12 clams. Packaging in Dutch. Following on package instructions, the plastic tube was cracked like a glow stick. Liquid in the bag flashed to steam venting from a hole that popped open in the top of the bag, slightly burning one of the researchers. Steaming finished after 38 seconds, after which clams were found to be fully cooked and infused with a mild lemon flavour. On investigations, clam matches no record species. Diet Ghost, a can containing an instance of SCP-2107. Packaging was in English. Testing done on this instance provided similar results to other contained instances of 2107. This marks the first time SCP-261 has invented another SCP object. Unknown. Small mesh bag filled with small multicolored pyramids. Packaging is in an unknown language. Pyramids found to be very hard and unpleasant tasting, compared to chalk in taste and consistency. When placed in hot water, pyramids open and produce strings that quickly dissolve, coloring the water the same shape as the pyramid. Shade, not shape. Colours are shapes now. Water had no additional taste, but testing revealed a sharp increase in mineral, carbohydrate, and protein content, with several minerals unidentified at the present time. The content was found to be consistent with the recommended daily intake of nutrients for adult humans. Researchers ingesting the water reported stomach cramps 2 hours later, but no further effects. Unknown. Aluminium box with a small glass window on the side and a large round button on top. Packaging is an unknown language. Box is seamless and appears to be filled with small round animals covered in fur, each with 3 small paws and a single large eye. Pressing the button causes the inside of the box to rapidly become superheated, cooking the small animals alive. Muffled noises and scratches were heard for several seconds during the cooking process. After 1 minute 30 seconds, the front panel opens and gives access to the now cooked animals. Professor Kane volunteered to eat animals, with no other researchers willing to do so. Taste described as crunchy and very spicy with a small hint of beef. Unknown. Tall, thin aluminium can, packaging in an unknown language. Opening the can caused a chemical reaction with the liquid inside the can. Liquid was apparently not intended for an oxygenated atmosphere and detonated violently, causing several injuries, including 2 researchers. Testing discontinued and area cleared. Testing of area observed to smell like citrus for several days. Dr. Blank's conclusion. It was either food or drinks, nothing else. How awful. Let's call it an end. No more tasks. Zoe, it's 5 minutes to 4 o'clock now. Just about ready. Gent, you not coming? Nah. Doesn't suit me. What are you talking about? Hi, Carl. We're going to attend a monthly lecture. Monthly lecture? Each month, the Foundation invites someone famous to hold a lecture to share new knowledge and insights pertaining to SCP. For this month's lecture, they've invited Dr. Trevor. He holds a high reputation with the Foundation. Interesting. Count me in. I'll send you the link to the monthly lecture. Just a sec. So we've got SCP-1762 and I. And then we've got... And then there's another one from Anesthetics. Hey! Daniel Trevor joined conference. So is this how we're doing it? Is some things are files and some things are lectures? Oh, I like this countdown. And here we go, yep. It crashed. No, it didn't. Okay, good.
Widely all over the world. Some are hidden in dust and known only by a hand.
It's loud. It's loud. Me ears, they burn. It's loud. There we go.
Today I'm going to tell you a story no one else has heard before. A real story of mystery and wonder and adventure. And then you too will become the guardian of this story. The story takes place in a world of long ago. The hero of our story is a little boy. His name is Dan.
It's so loud, my ears are burning and bleeding, and you can't hear it loud because I have the volume schmoted. I don't know what the fuck I just said, but it's hurting my ears, so yeah. Let's go. You can hear that, right? I'm cracking up a bottle of gum.
One day, out of nowhere, Daniel got a serious case of chickenpox. It made him look like a strawberry. To make sure he didn't spread it to others, Mrs. Page, the principal, had him isolate in an attic. And so, in the attic he lived, all on his own.
Mr. Daniel, while up here in this attic, you'll have plenty of time to practice your penny whistle. I hope you'll practice well and prepare for next month's art festival.
But Mrs. Page, the melody is so difficult.
Don't give up, boy. You don't give up before you fight.
Daniel was reluctant at first, but he trusted Mrs. Page, and he knew he should listen. And so he practiced the penny whistle.
Oh, God. A rhythm game? This is... Oh. Not what I expected. At all. SCP Secret Files, you continue to impress me.
Suddenly, he heard some strange noises in the corner of the attic.
Huh? Who's there?
Daniel decided to go over and take a look.
Oh, I love the art style! It's so adorable! I love... This
was
game
a
is
mousetrap,
still...
and there was a red origami paper dragon inside of it.
Here be dragons!
Daniel carefully removed it. It was marvelous and beautiful. The only problem was part of its wing was damaged. But Daniel found a way to repair it.
The sad thing is this SCP is now terminated on the, Wait, what part of the wing's damaged?
Daniel held the repaired paper dragon high up in the air, imagining that it soared over all the world below. He played and played with the paper dragon.
Whee!
It's alive, kid.
Woo! Dragon!
in the warm afternoon sun, Daniel had to fight his eyelids just to keep them open.
Could it be? Or is this all just a dream?
Aww.
The next day,
I'm so
with
giddy for some
boredom and
reason.
loneliness weighing him down, he began to fiddle with the old radio.
Our town is located in the plains, where earthquakes are not particularly common. Although there are 17 fault zones around us, they are all inactive.
I love the upbeat music.
A
This is such
scrunched
a...
up ball of paper rolled over to his feet.
Where did this paper ball come from?
Just as Daniel went to pick it up, the ball suddenly came to life, and it rolled away. Daniel chased after it.
Oh, God. What am I supposed to do? There we go.
Just as he
Perfect.
was about to seize the rolling paper ball, suddenly, terrible sparks erupted from it. Before his very eyes, the paper ball began to grow, bigger and bigger. At that moment, a red figure suddenly appeared. The red figure quickly subdued the paper ball and threw it into a cardboard box. Daniel studied the red figure carefully.
Aww.
It had a sticker on its fluttering wing. It was the paper dragon.
I wasn't dreaming. Thank you for saving me.
Daniel was grateful and very happy. He walked closer to the paper dragon, but the paper dragon seemed timid and afraid and backed away. Just then, Daniel had an idea. He took out his penny whistle and slowly played a tune.
Another. I hit it.
The paper dragon enjoyed the sound very much. It began to move along with the rhythm, flipping up and down in the air. Soon the two were playing and dancing, just like old friends. The paper dragon traced out a beautiful arc in the air, communicating with Daniel in a unique way.
My cherished friend, after many long years, we finally meet again. Tell me, how has your family been? A great thank you for playing that music for me. You know how I love the beautiful rhythm of that instrument. But we ought to take precautions, as the room is not stable. still remember how the room works, you're welcome to visit anytime.
The piece of paper then changed back into the shape of a paper dragon and flew into the cardboard box.
No.
The box closed shut, and a calm silence was
I
restored
got
to
chills.
the attic.
Like, happy chills.
Daniel rushed to find a watercolor pen and marked the box with excitement in his fingertips.
Here be dragons. I love this SCP so
Over the
much.
next few days, the paper dragon came out often to play with Daniel. During this time,
Fuck, sorry. So there's a moment in SCP Unity which will be put right here, right now. That moment there, one of my favourite moments in any SCP game, and in any game history, because it's such a sad... Knowing what's happened to the file, to the dragons in lore, is sad. Because SCP, or Here Be Dragons, is terminated because no one's looked after them, quote unquote. And so, seeing this in this game is just... in such a nice, different tone to the last two, as usual with this game, as we've seen so far.
Daniel introduced many of his friends to the paper dragon.
That cat's name is Mrs. Carter. Ever since I secretly fed her some fish for dinner, we've been good friends. That's Duke, Mrs. Jessica's pet. He doesn't like Rainy Day or Mrs. Carter. Only smoked sausages for his taste. And now, we are friends too. My name is Daniel. What's your name?
The paper dragon flapped its wings, as if it didn't understand him.
Well, since you like the sound of the penny whistle so much, why don't I just call you Penny? I'll keep practicing to make you sound better.
Aww.
Daniel and Penny then played baseball together in the attic.
Let's play cat.
Aww.
But just as they were in the middle of enjoying themselves, a violent shaking suddenly rose from the ground.
Uh-oh.
The stubborn earthquake is back at it, folks, and it seems even stronger than last time.
At this moment, the box suddenly shot open, and thick clouds of smoke billowed out, followed by several paper balls.
They're causing the earthquake.
Penny attacked the paper balls without a moment's hesitation and promptly threw them back into the box. Penny
Bad
then
ideas.
flew around in front of Daniel and rushed right back into the box. As the box closed, the earthquake stopped. Facing a friend's farewell without a formal goodbye, Daniel felt confused and lost.
Aww.
He moved the box to the center of the attic. Facing it, he practiced his penny whistle, day in and day out. As the days went by, Daniel's playing became smoother. One day, the box suddenly began to move.
Huh?
1, 2, 3,
Aww.
4. This time there were 4 paper dragons. But they weren't alone. Enemies began to jump out of the box too.
Earthquake! Another earthquake! This time it's reached a magnitude of 5.8!
In that small attic, the 4 paper dragons fought fiercely against the paper balls. This time, the paper balls use new tactics. They clump together into a single monstrous ball of paper. It began to shoot strong bursts of electric sparks at the paper dragons as they flew through the air. As they were hit, the paper dragons fell from the air, one after the other. Seeing the injured paper dragons, Daniel felt very distressed and anxious. Just then, one of the paper dragons painfully started to fly and gathered the remainder of its power. The paper dragon transformed into a great beam of light and dove straight down to pierce through the monstrous paper ball.
This story's got me enticed.
Came another paper dragon. The monstrous paper ball was blasted to bits, exploding into smaller paper balls. Trembling, they struggled to escape back into the box. The sacrificed paper dragons were reduced to swirling shreds of paper, and a silence pervaded. Peace and tranquility were restored once again to the attic. Daniel saw the remaining 2 paper dragons lying on the floor, badly wounded. He rushed to grab some stickers and treated them at once.
Ah, how nice.
Suddenly, countless paper dragons began to gush from the box. The 2 wounded paper dragons were repaired and began to fly. Like 2 colored threads, they merged with the other dragons, flying in unison. The dragons moved like a tide, flying freely through the attic.
My silence isn't rudeness, me not trying to commentate.
Daniel eagerly took out his penny whistle. He showed all his paper dragon friends the results of his hard work and practice.
Oh, great. Here we go. I'm bad at rhythm games, even the simplest ones. I pressed D! We're getting spicy now. Fucking dipshit. That was a nice piece. I've got tears in my eyes because I'm a softie.
In the sweet melody of his playing, Daniel felt himself enter into the world of dragons.
Oh, they're not paper here.
The paper dragons merged into a long letter and floated down towards Daniel to tell their story.
After the last war, the fantasy world enjoyed a long spell of peace and stability. But now, the giants have returned. They have launched ferocious attacks, trying to invade your world through the room. We are prepared to launch the final defense. Then we will have to destroy your room, for it is the last remaining entryway into your world. Please believe this farewell will only be temporary. We will not be apart forever, and we will never forget our eternal mission of protecting you.
Aww.
At that moment, the paper dragons flew back into the box. Daniel still couldn't fully understand what the paper dragons had meant, but he had a vague feeling in his heart that he may never see his new friends again. A few days later, Daniel's chickenpox had fully recovered. He could now play the penny whistle very, very well. But the paper dragons never returned.
Aww.
Maybe it was time to leave and move on.
Earthquake warning! Magnitude 6.2! A massive earthquake is hitting our town! All townspeople, please leave your houses immediately and move to safe open spaces!
Just then, countless paper dragons shot from the cardboard box. However, it seemed like they were under attack, spinning and falling through the air in confusion.
What's happening?
Daniel quickly grabbed the stickers out from his bag and did his best to heal the injured paper dragons.
This is dramatic. I love it.
But the paper balls swarmed together and pushed Daniel away, subduing him firmly in the corner. He couldn't move. Suddenly, ominous clouds rose from the box, and a violent lightning flashed through the room. The figure of a giant slowly emerged from the thick clouds, and the entire attic became overwhelmed with its evil aura.
The earthquake is growing stronger, now with a magnitude of 7.1! Heaven almighty, are we doomed?
The giant unleashed its power maniacally. The paper dragons struggled against it, with no means of fighting back. At this critical moment, two paper dragons shined brilliantly. Together, they heroically crashed their bodies into the giant. Daniel thought the giant had been defeated by the paper dragons.
But no.
But soon, he found that things would probably not be so simple. The giant's figure could still be seen in the thick smoke, looking evil and terrible. The attacks of the paper dragons had had no effect, and the giant had only grown stronger. It fought back with a new ferocity. The paper dragons were simply no match for it.
The earthquake is going stronger still!
dragons now all but defeated, Daniel spotted a frail figure in the distance. It was Penny. It flew gently in front of Daniel and affectionately rubbed its head against his fingers, as if this whole crisis had never happened. Daniel felt like Penny was trying to tell him something, but he didn't quite understand what. Penny then left Daniel and soared into the air with a determination in its wings. Suddenly, the other paper dragons seemed to be summoned. They flew through the air, all together in unison, responding to the call without an ounce of hesitation. At that moment, Penny turned into a great red beam and rushed fast towards the giant. The other dragons followed, shining together like a shooting star. At that moment, Daniel seemed to see a real dragon flying.
No!
A huge explosion from the impact drowned out everything else in the attic. The attic rained down with countless pieces of paper, the leftover scraps of the paper dragons. Daniel wanted to collect all of the pieces. He thought he could still fix them.
But he couldn't. There's a piece missing. I'm going blind, aren't I? Yes, I am.
Goodbye, my friend.
Aww. I got an achievement, a touching story.
The nightmare is over. The earthquake has stopped. With God's mercy, our town is safe. We thank you, Lord, for your protection.
A few days later, the art festival was held as scheduled. Daniel attended the show with his penny whistle.
Don't make me do the Rosen game again.
And now, Daniel Trevor will perform a penny whistle solo of a song titled Fly With Me.
Of course! Aww. This was like an ending.
that's how the story ends. Now, you might be wondering, what happened next? Are there still paper dragons in the world? Well,
Right. That music is too loud.
that's a difficult question to answer. But I believe that they are still protecting us somewhere in this world, just like they promised they would, forever, into eternity.
Here were dragons, because it's dead. They're dead. They're terminated. Here be dragons, and here were dragons. Dragon saw. Oh, dragons saw. What lovely paper dragons! I love them so much. What happened to those little cute little ones? 1762 is now being contained at Reliquary Research Institute, where Dr. Daniel is supervising director. That cardboard box has remained silent. How do you know all this, gent, hent, went? I thought you didn't attend the monthly lecture. Under the director of Dr. Trevor, Gent spent 2 years researching the 1762. So he knows far more than we do. Wow. Hey, I told you all that particular SCP didn't suit me. Oh, come on, Gent, hent, shent, went. But really, imagining you tidying up files on piles of cute little fairy books. It's kind of adorable. Enough already, I'm getting back to work. But I'm going to stress the point again. That particular SCP did not suit me. I have been here for a month now, and I'm now entirely adjusted to the job. Though the content of my work is to simply process archive files, is it work that will never bore me? It is work that never bore me. If you absurd jokes aside, most of the archives are really rather fascinating. I have been having hallucinations lately. I feel like someone is calling me, a voice slow and uncertain. They seem to be trying to communicate with me, but I cannot understand a single word they say. In fact, I had planned on seeing the doctor, but Zoe told me it was a typical rookie syndrome and would clear it up in a few days. I certainly hope that's the case. Oh no, is that the end of that mini-game? We've been recording for an hour already. It can't be. It is. I don't like that. Neutralized. Especially changes. Is to be kept in a standard containment cell. The release of has been documented for further study. The witness of an incident, as of now, no longer exhibits anomalous properties and has been reclassified as neutralized. Along with a large number of other interactive fragments have been preserved at the collection at the Institute Memorial. It is! Oh, that was such a nice end to the story. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know I certainly did. And so, without further ado, I'll see you in the next one. Whilst I go and cry in my bed, because that was a lovely story. This has definitely been the most wholesome, and I've been the most quiet in this one. And I do apologise for being quiet, but this has been the most wholesome fucking game story I've had. So, peace, see you next time. Au revoir.